Singer-songwriter Farryl Purkiss is joining me in studio. He's going to be opening for Ben Howard in Johannesburg. He's going to tell us what we can expect from his set. Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Now, the last time I spoke to you, you were actually playing a small set at a coffee shop in Cape Town. And
yes.
That was a really long time ago. It was
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
Fringe
yeah.
Festival.
Yeah.
And now you're playing this big arena show. Do you prepare differently when you go from different crowds
I
like
find
that?
I find the smaller shows actually a bit more nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah. You
so
can see what everybody's thinking.
you can see faces, you know, when
Yeah.
it's like a massive crowd, like you don't really focus on anything, so it's actually a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's my first show back home in quite a while.
Yeah.
I've been away, so yeah, it's quite a nice little homecoming present.
Now, you've been traveling in Asia.
Mm.
Where in Asia have you been over the past few months?
I've been based in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually was over there. I've been there for 3 or 4 months now. I flew out initially for a festival I was out there with Jeremy Loops and Good Luck.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also got some business interests that side, which I kind of based myself out there, and I was bouncing in and out of Singapore and just kind of playing and doing a bunch of other stuff at the same time.
Jeez.
So I got back a couple of days ago, and it's good to be home. It's just a little cold.
Now, I asked you before we started shooting if you'd had that $27 Singapore Sling, because that's where the Singapore Sling
Yeah, everyone
comes
asked me
from.
that, and no, I haven't.
Are you going to when you go back? I think you should. Just
Nah,
give
I
it
want
a
to be
try.
that guy, like, you know, when Avatar came out, I was like the only person who never saw it, you know, so.
I also never saw it.
Exactly. Well, you're the second person, there we go.
Come
So I'm going to be that
on.
guy who like basically lives in Singapore, but has never had a $27 Singapore Sling.
Well, I think that's just good financial sense.
Exactly, also I can't afford anything there, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's it like for you as a South African musician, I mean, performing in Asia? I think it's quite different than performing in America.
100%. It's my first little stab at Asia. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Europe and the States and Australia. So this is my first, like, in my whole career that I've actually played in Asia. And it's surprising me. I don't know why it's taken me so long to go there, but it is very different. Like, culturally, obviously, like, you know, the crowd reacts differently to pretty much anywhere in the world, anywhere else in the world, except in Japan. Japan, they're crazy, but in a good way. In a good way, but like most of Asia is pretty, like, they're pretty reserved, you know. So they're a great audience. They're very anything that's Western, they you know, they welcome it. So I mean,
Yeah.
coming from South Africa, they were super curious and yeah, it was a great experience, and yeah, I'm heading back there again for sure, definitely.
Now, coming from South Africa, I'm sure they had a lot of questions for you about what South Africa is like. What was the most surprising thing that someone in Singapore asked you about South Africa, or in Asia in general?
I had to convince a couple that I was actually South African because I didn't realize there were white people living in Africa. So apart from that, yeah, a lot of them actually are really keen to come over and check it out. You know, like they've like initially I say I'm from South Africa, and that first question they ask Cape Town. That's the first thing they say.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so they just have lots of questions about Cape Town and stuff like that. So, and again, it's as far as the cultures go, like especially being based in Singapore, it's kind of like a melting pot of Asia. It's not like in Japan. It's just Japanese or China or wherever. It's every kind of type of Asian there is, all conglomerated into one country. So it's really similar in a lot of ways. There's a lot of different languages, a lot of different different types of culture, but you know, kind of stemming on the same root, but very different at the same time. So yeah, it was very similar but very different at the same time. But
when you say the crowd reacts differently, they're more conservative.
They're very conservative. Like, you think sometimes that they're not enjoying the show, like because they're so quiet, and then when they're done, it's like when you finish a song, you know, they will clap very politely and stuff, and then like, oh my gosh, am I sucking? Or and then after the show, like, everyone wants to take a photo, and you know, everyone wants to buy an album, and they're all very complimentary. But during the show, my first show I played, I was a little bit nervous, but then after that, it was all good.
Do you have a little fan base there now?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take me a long time. You know, like like with any country I've tried to, you know, at least try to break into. I mean, we're talking like years in each country. You know, so you know, I'm not expecting to become an overnight success there, and that's not my aim at all. You know, for me, it's just a new adventure, and you know, if people come to shows and stuff like that, it's it's a bonus for me. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm enjoying it. Definitely going back. Yeah.
What's been your most memorable country to perform in? That might be an annoying question. I hate when people ask me my most memorable interview. But
well, sheesh, it's a bit of a, I don't know actually.
I guess they're all different for different reasons.
Yeah, I'd have to say my favorite show, I can tell you that, was actually last year, and it was in Cape Town at Kirstenbosch, and it was my birthday, and it was like,
it can't get any better than that.
It was like the best night of my life. And I just got back from overseas. I don't remember where I came from, but I just got back. It was my birthday. It was like 5,000 people. It was a beautiful night, and it was just like, this is like the best night of my life, you know, like it was such a great night. But as far as my favorite city to play in, for me, New York City is it's just crazy. I love that place. It's just, as an artist going there, it doesn't matter whether you're a musician, you're a writer, whatever, you know, illustrator, just the amount of inspiration you get there. Like, I mean, just walking around for the day, just like, it's just so, it just fills me up with like so many ideas. Yeah. So, you know, like, and also portraying that to an audience in that space is also, it's a different mindset. So for me, it forces me to be a better musician because the level is so high there. Yeah. So it's a good place to kind of cut your teeth, like pretty hectically. But yeah, it's an incredible city. Love it.
Every artist loves New York. Okay?
Yeah, it's just the energy of it. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's got a lot of really cool history, and obviously a lot of really incredible musicians came from New York City, and you know, like it's a fairy tale for me in that place. Yeah.